So he said, because you, even though they're big deities, they're installed, they're Gornitai, he said. He said, because you've got such less devotees here, you can do 3 or 4 offerings a day. Number one, it's Gornitai. They will accept less. So now you go according to your capacity, and now the temple's running much better. So it's all about people understanding the standard. So what your committee needs to do is forget about the committee. They need to get someone in there who's been on a project like Murli Manohar at Soho Street. Get him in, ask him to come for a meeting, and then ask his advice on this. Not the committee decided. They don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
They don't know because they haven't lived in the ashram. You have to understand ashram life and the temple life and the application of the puja and what's acceptable, and also what we call desha kala patra. Write it down. Desha. Archana, write it down now. Sambrone Chen. Desha, comma, kala, patra. Desha kala patra. Very, very important, this Desha kala patra. Because Desha kala patra refers to the actual time and circumstances of the what's going on there. Desha kala patra. Desha means place, kala means time, patra means circumstances. Do you have enough people? Are there people? Yes. If someone's prepared to be altar clean throughout the whole program and not eat and do the whole thing, that's wonderful. But it's not compulsory.
Yeah.
It is how would you call it? Encouraged. It's encourageable, but if someone's going to be suffering that they can't have prasadam just because the deities have to be taken home, they're going to time. Going to time will accept a lower standard. But if they want to be also clean and want to do it naturally, and they don't feel any inconvenience, it's very good. But it's not compulsory. So Murli Manohar, I would suggest, if you can get him in, he is a first-class pujari. He's got well over 25 years experience of pujari service, and he can give you different options.
Yeah.
I'm only suggesting.
Yeah.
What do you think, Archana?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have no knowledge on it, so I can't really say anything.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right then. That's all right. No problem. It's just there are different standards for different deities. The lowest standard is worship of guru. You can have your guru deity or picture, and that's a basic standard. But Prabhupada's picture or your Diksha Guru is Gaunitai. Then the next standard of puja, going up the ladder, is Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Krishna in his Dwarka Leela form, or Kshetra Leela, or his Kurukshetra is considered to be Dwarka, non-different from Dwarka. Krishna is Hastinapur and Dwarka. And then the highest standard is Radha Krishna. Below Radha Krishna is Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman. They're slightly below Radha Krishna. But Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan are the highest standard. Above them is Shalagram. Now, when you come to Shalagram Puja, you have to be Suchi. Mahasuchi, and really, really good sadhana, really good reading, studying, regular. For the highest puja is the Shalagram puja. Okay? And it's
Right.
not recommended for everyone, just certain devotees who are really, really fixed up, and they're temple presidents or sannyasis, some gurus, some devotees that live a Brahminical life. They only do Brahminical work. They do pujas, samskars. Their life is breathing yagyas, havan. These devotees, they can do this Shalagram puja. Okay, Prabhu, that's my little suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Much appreciated.
So where are we starting off here?
We are starting.
Hooray, Alex is here. Hooray. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna.
Look, he's there with the bananas and the pears and the grapes. Haribo.
Hare Bol. How are you? Everything good? Sorry for being late.
I'm here in Radhadesh in Belgium.
Yes.
I've managed to get the internet in my room.
That's great.
And we've been here for 4 days now. We did the Janmashtami festival on Sunday.
Great.
So where's the thing, Prabhu, the passage we're on?
We should be starting in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto. It is explained that under the control of superior authority, a living entity is put within the semen of a male and injected into the womb of a particular female.
Yeah.
Right. In Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, let's find it.
3rd canto.
Yes, 3rd canto has got the teachings of Kapila Dev, and he explains the movements of the living entities in one chapter. And it is graphically, extremely graphically described from how the particle of semina coming from grains, which is taken from grains, takes the living entity that's been situated in the grain, and that is transferred in a romantic episode. In a romantic episode, therefore romance in this world is not real romance. The romance in the spiritual world doesn't require the sexual act because of the nature of spiritual self-satisfaction that is there. There's no need for that. There's not a necessity. But here, that is a necessity of the body. The body requires that. So we've got this in Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's start the prayer then. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Krishna, 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 Hare.
Go on.
Krishna, 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 Hare.
Alex, Prabhu.
Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Akshaman.
Krishna. No. Krishna, 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 Rakshamam.
Krishna, 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 Akshaman.
Krishna, 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 Pahimam.
Rama Raga, Rama Raga, Rama Raga, Rakshaman.
Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav, Padimam.
Lovely. Go ahead, Prabhu.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, it is explained that under the control of a superior authority, a living entity is put within the semen of a male and injected into the womb of a particular female. In order to develop a particular type of body, a living entity utilizes its senses, intelligence, mind, and so on in a specific way of his own choosing, and thus develops a particular type of body within which he becomes engaged. In this way, the living entity becomes situated in a different species of life either in a demigod, human, or animal body, according to different situations and circumstances.
Go ahead, Archana.
It is explained in the Vedic literature that the living entities entrapped in different species of life are part and parcel of Supreme Lord. The Mayavadi philosopher mistake the living entity for the Paramatma, who is actually sitting with the living entity as a friend. Because of Paramatma, the localized aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the individual living entity are both within the body. A misunderstanding sometimes takes place that there is no differences between the two, but there is a difference between the individual soul and the super soul, and it is explained in Varaha Purana as follows. The Supreme Lord has two kinds of parts and parcels. The living entity is called Vidinamsa and Paramatma, or the planetary explanation of the Supreme Lord is called Swamsa. The Swamsa planetary explanation of the Supreme Personality is as powerful as the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. There is not even the slightest differences between the potency of the Supreme Person and that his plenary expansion as Paramatma. But the Vibhimsa part and parcel process only a mini portion of the potencies of the Lord. The Narada Pancharatra stated the living entities who are the magical potency of Supreme Lord are undoubtedly of the same quality of spiritual existence as the Lord himself, but they are prone to be tied with the material qualities. Because the minutes living entity is prone to be subjected to the influence of material qualities is called Jiva, and sometimes the personality of God, Supreme Personality of Godhead is also called as Siva, the all auspicious one. So the differences between Siva and Jiva is that the all auspicious personality of Godhead is never affected by material qualities, whereas the minute portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are prone to the affected by the qualities of material nature.
Oh, that's a fantastic description there of the two expansions of the Lord. It starts there explaining that in the Varaha Purana, it is described that the Supreme Lord has two categories of expansions, and that's brilliant. I mean, within his Svangsha, you've got the Swayam Prakash, Swayam Vaibhava, you've got the Chaturvyuha, the forms of Narayan, then his Kalaha is a plenary portions of a plenary portion. You know, this is from his Svangsha, and the Svangsha, his own Sva, it refers to him personally, like Swayam Bhagawan means the original personal Lord himself. So Sva-angsha means his own personal expansions of his supreme potency. And then you've got the other category of Krishna is Vibhinangsha, and that's us living entities. And Prabhupada said that we are also Krishna. We are also Krishna, but we are a very, very, very tiny, almost in infinitesimal, so small that we are considered a Kesha Grasata Bhagasha, or the Kesha, the Shatabhagasha means the 10,000th the size of a tip of a hair. So we are so small and insignificant, and we have some qualities of Krishna. we have some, what do they call it? Some power. Some power is there, some potency, but compared to Krishna, it is not. It is so tiny. Therefore, the living entity, the Vibhinangsha part of Krishna, is not created. We're never created. We exist eternally to glorify the Swangsha. So the Vibhinangsha is meant to glorify the Swangsha. Let's write this down. This is an important point. The Vibhinangsha exists to glorify and serve the Swangsha form of the Lord. The Vibhinangsha form of the Lord exists to glorify the Swangsha form of the Lord. Because as Bhagavad Gita 7:19 says, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. There's only Vasudev. There's only Krishna exists. So the Vibhinangsha form of the Lord, or the jiva, the infinitesimally small particle of spiritual consciousness, which is ourself, we are existing purely to glorify and serve the Swangsha. That is the direct understanding of the purpose of our existence. If we are outside of that, if we are existing outside of glorifying the Supreme Lord in his personal form, anything other than glorifying Krishna in his pure form, or you can glorify him as avatar. Some people are very attached to Lord Ram. Well, there's nothing wrong with Lord Ram. Lord Rama is an incarnation of Krishna with full potencies. He's Swangsha. Rama is a Swangsha form of the Lord. But the point is that Murari Gupta, who was a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, he had great difficulty in chanting Krishna's names. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to him, "What's the problem? Murari Gupta, you're a great physician." He said, "You can cure people's physical and spiritual sickness. Why can't you chant Krishna's name?" He said, I can't. I can only chant Ram's name. Ram, Ram, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, 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 Jai Shri Ram, 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 Ram. I can't get into Krishna. So he was very disturbed. And he was going on like this for days and days. And finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Well," he said, "Do you know why you can't chant Krishna's name?" He said, "I don't know, please tell me." Well, who can tell me the answer? Five, four.
Because
Yes.
because he was like a bhakta like Hanuman.
Give him a clap. He was Hanuman himself. Well done, Alex Prabhu. That was a great answer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Murari Gupta, you will never chant Krishna's name. You are Hanuman," he said. So sometimes a living entity, like Hanumanji and others, they come as an associate of the Lord, or as what we call parishad. So they come as the parishad, like in Chaitanya Leela, there's a book called Gora Gonadesh Deepika, which is a book shining the eternal forms of devotees who have come, like Vasudev Datta. Vasudev Datta was a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Do you know who Vasudev Datta was in a previous life? I'll give you a guess. Rah!
Narasimhadev?
No, he wasn't a Swangsha of the Lord. Who came with Nrsimhadev?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. So Vasudev Datta was an incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. So if you read this book called Gora, write it down, Gora Ganodesha. Gora Ganodesha Dipika. The lamp that shines the true identities of Lord Chaitanya's pure servants. Gora Ganodesha Dipika. So this book was written by Sup Damodar. I believe it was Sup Damodar or Govinda Das. I can't remember which one it was. But it was written by one of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's very, very intimate servants. And it describes who is who in Chaitanya Leela. Yeah, it starts at 8:30. We're an hour ahead. So basically, Hanumanji, he appeared as Murari Gupta, a great physician. And he wasn't aware, Murari Gupta wasn't fully aware that he was Hanuman in that Leela. He wasn't fully aware of that. He was covered by the Yoga Maya of the Lord in order to fulfill the Leela. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally revealed to him that you are Hanuman, and therefore don't be disturbed that you can't chant the name of Krishna. Just keep chanting Ram's name. You're okay. There are many instances in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of different gopis, sakis, sakas, friends of Krishna, Nityananda's friends, who are cowherd boys, Sridham, Subham, Vishaka, Lalit. No, not now. Like this, anyway. There's many instances in this Gora Gunadesh Dipika book. So have a look online, see if you can find it. Maybe you can read it online. Who knows? It's a great, interesting book. Okay, Alex Prabhu, carry on.
Hare Krishna. The super soul within the body of a particular living entity, being a plenary portion of the Lord, is worshipable by the individual living entity. Great sages have therefore concluded that the process of meditation is designed so that the individual living entity may concentrate his attention on the lotus feet of the super soul form, Vishnu. There is real samadhi. The living entity cannot be liberated from the material entanglement by his own effort. He must therefore take to the devotional service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, or the Super Soul within himself. Siddhartha Swami, the great commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam, has composed a nice verse in this regard, the meaning of which is as follows. My dear Lord, I am eternally a part of you, but I have been entrapped by the material potencies, which are also an emanation from you. As the cause of all causes, you have entered my body as the super soul, and I have the prerogative of enjoying the supreme blissful life of knowledge along with you. Therefore, my dear Lord, please order me to render you loving service so that I can again be brought to my original position of transcendental bliss. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Sridhar Swami, he is the standard authority on the Srimad Bhagavatam. He wrote a Bhashya, a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, which all great acharyas would refer to. Prabhupada had a commentary by Sridhar Swami that he would use. As I've said, Prabhupada, when he translated this Krishna book, and when he translated the Srimad Bhagavatam, he wasn't there just reading the Sanskrit and then translating it and then speaking something. What would Prabhupada do? Come on, Archana, you know. Alex?
Well, he would be teaching it, right? So he would be, he'll be reflecting on it and speaking it out loud, and let people, what's it called, sharanam, right?
Yeah.
Listen.
Yes, he would do that, but he would do something before that.
Okay.
Jai Shri Krishna, Prabhu. Okay, so Prabhupada, when he was translating, he would have the Srimad Bhagavatam in front of him in Sanskrit, an authorized version. And then around him on the table, he would have other books. These were called bhashyas. He would have commentary by Sridhar Swami. He would have another commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He would have another commentary by his own guru. His own guru is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Oh, Hare Krishna. Smita, welcome. Thank you for coming for a few minutes. So Prabhupada would have books around him while he's translating. Then before he puts pen to paper, or before he would give his commentary, he would look at the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur of that verse. He would see Sridhar Swami. Sometimes maybe an acharya didn't comment on that verse. Maybe there was no commentary on that one from one acharya. He'd look at another acharya. He would be then looking at maybe one or two acharyas' commentary on the verse. He'd see what they're writing, yes. He would refer to their commentary, which was authorized, and then he would take that and put it together in his own words, adding in some of his own realizations to it. This is the procedure that Prabhupada would translate the Srimad Bhagavatam and this Krishna book, for example. Is that okay?
Yeah, Prabhu, can I just say that this sentence here, where it says the living entity cannot be liberated from material entanglement by his own efforts, it's quite a profound one in terms for me, because it means that because Maya is the material entanglement, and that's a potency of God, of Krishna, that the only way is to surrender, right? So to surrender to Krishna is, in whatever path that you take, is a prerequisite to be able to break free, or to be able to get out of Maya, right? Am I understanding that right?
Yes, I'm nodding like a donkey for you.
No, because this is what I just saw. When it's quite a beautiful thing, because whatever path, whatever path we take, or whatever bhakti we undertake, we need the grace of Krishna, right? And with that grace, you really you are really fighting something which is a part of Krishna in terms of Maya. So the only thing that we can do is to surrender. So as much knowledge, as much as what we can do, it's pointless without and waiting for his grace to give you that golden ticket. It's quite a beautiful sentence for me. That's all.
Yeah. I remember classes in the past where devotees have talked about sadhana siddha, nitya siddha, sadhana siddha, kripa siddha. Perfection is achieved through sadhana, through kripa. Our line, even though we have sadhana, we have a sadhana process, which is, Mangalarti, rise in the morning, Mangalarti, and prayers to the Guru, japa, reading, study. Whether you're doing 1 round of japa or 10 rounds or 16, whether you're reading a chapter of Bhagavad Gita a day or 1 shloka, that's irrelevant. The point is the sadhana is there, some form of sadhana is there. And are we sadhana siddhas or are we kripa siddhas? And the point is that we can never, even though we may do the best sadhana, everything, we are actually, our process is kripa siddhi. Kripa siddhi. We are depending on the kripa of the Lord, like you said. We're depending on the Lord himself. We will try to get that mercy by our feeble attempts at sadhana, my pathetic attempts at japa, where I'll start chanting Hare Krishna, and after about 5 rounds, I've already been to the moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and 50 times. I've already been back in my school days and up on a stage playing rock music and God knows what in my japa period.
Yeah.
Hallucinations of delusions of grandeur, you name it, I've been there. This is my japa. My japa is nonsense. But the fact that we make the effort,
Yeah,
the fact that we give time, the fact that we try.
and the intention, right? So the more,
Yeah.
the more is it the word tapas, right? The more we try and try our best.
Yeah, like for example, it's Janmashtami on Thursday. So many people will think, right, now I'm fasting. I'm fasting Nirjala on Janmashtami. I will not drink, I will not eat. And then at midnight Aarti, after the Aarti, I'll have some Ekadashi Prasadam. Ekadashi Prasad. And as you go through the day, you find, oh, I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. Oh, I've got to have a drink. So some people, they think, well, I have to have a drink because I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm going to faint. Now, some people, I've spoken to many Hindus, this is especially the Hindu community, they have to have a cup of chai. They've got to have. Now, I've got Hindu women, with all respect, and as you know, I love the Hindu community very much, and I've worked with them all my life. And some Hindu ladies have said to me, if I don't have a cup of chai, I get a terrible headache. I get migraine. And I said, are you sure, Mrs. Patel? Are you sure, Pushpa Ben, that you get a headache, a migraine? Yes, I have to have a cup of tea. I can't live without chai. So this is something that we convince ourselves that we can't do. Now, if I said to Mrs. Patel, I have a rich friend here, and if you can not have chai for 2 days, he will write a check out for £25,000 for you. Can you do that? Actually, yes. I think I'll try to do that. So you see, when the motive is strong, we can do anything. Oh, your child may die. Your child is sick. The only thing that you can save your child is if you don't drink chai for 1 week. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. Can you see what's happening here?
Yeah.
So we convince ourselves we need these things. Similarly, we need water. I have to have. So if it was your child's life or a family member's life depended on it, you would do without water, you will suffer. You will go through hell, but you will not have water. So this is the determination a devotee has to have in spiritual life.
Probably also, I mean, for me, for Ekadashi, what I try to do is obviously I would have the best of intentions, and then what I say to myself is if I break it with water, I don't have to break it with food or fruit or take it to the extreme level. For me, it would be like if I break it with water, I've broken it with water. Forgive me, and move it
No,
forward and say,
there's no fault. There's no fault in it at
yeah,
all. If you have to drink water, I've drunk water on Ekadashis when I'm
yep,
running around doing like this Ekadashi, this Janmashtami, sorry.
mm,
On Janmashtamis, on this Janmashtami now, I've got I'm on the Hare Krishna tent at 5 o'clock till 6. I'm on the main stage from 10 to 7 to 7:30. I'm driving to Swindon for 2 hours and then doing 2 hours kirtan from 10 to 12 o'clock.
yeah,
I think I may be a bit thirsty. I'm gonna be thirsty. So it may be in order to stay alive, driving a car, I may think, well, it'd be better to stay alive and have a drink than fall asleep and in the name of doing bhakti and also hurt somebody else in the car. Do you understand? So sometimes we have to use our intelligence, our common sense. But the general thing is, if you're not doing much all day, if you're not exerting yourself very much, and you're not having to, then there's not much of an excuse not to fast from water.
yeah.
So we should try our best. It's said that if you fast from Nirjala on a Janmashtami, it's worth 1,000 Ekadashis.
Okay.
So if you can fast, this is from the Bhavishya Uttara Purana. And there's another one I read the other day from another Purana or Upanishad, I forget where it was from, that the Janmashtami, Krishna says, one who fasts completely on my day and chants, even chanting extra japa, that is worth so many thousands, hundreds of thousands or 100,000, I don't know how many Ekadashis. So the benefit is very, very great. The punishment, the suffering we go through, all right, if it's a hot day, it's tough, but it's meager because, it's not like you're fasting all day. You're only fasting until 12 o'clock. You can stuff your face. You can stuff the face as full. Drink as much as you like after 12. So Janmashtami is considered an easy tapasya.
Yeah.
So there's good encouragement for everyone. And, you never know. You may win the lottery. Mrs. Kotecha wins the lottery on a day after Janmashtami. Smita's for a long holiday, a world cruise.
Wouldn't that be nice now? I wouldn't have to go to work.
She goes on a world cruise for 18 months.
But Prabhu, can I ask you a question about that? I mean, for me, the national lottery is a form of gambling, right?
Yes, it is a lottery, but if someone puts some money in for you, it isn't.
Okay.
Once
Good.
my mother put the lottery, she put a lottery for me. She paid £1.
Okay.
She said, I want you to win some money. I said, I can't gamble. She said, I'll gamble. I said, okay, man, if you want to, go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't win anything.
I think probably you got the same luck as me.
Oh yeah, no, my luck is that I can do kirtans, music, and kathas, and these things, and that is worth 1 million lottery wins.
Yeah.
So we have to have a look. So sometimes you see in our life, we think, oh, I've got bad luck. Oh, this is not good. This is, what if, I'm not saying it's happened, but what if before you were born, in your last life, you were given a choice by Yamaraj? All right, in your next life, You can either be poor, have a hard life, have a difficult marriage, have a hard, family situation, go through a lot of suffering, but you develop love for Krishna. Or you can be very successful, everything goes well for you, you're very well known, you're on television, you're the Prime Minister of England, Alexander the Great, the second of England. And but you will not develop a tinge of bhakti. So we may decide, yes, I agree to be poor. I agree that my family situation will not work out well and I will suffer a lot because of that. But I will develop love for Krishna and bhakti and devotion and knowledge of Krishna according to the parampara system. That may be our choice. But what happens to us is that when things go wrong, when life is hard, when we're going through the tortures of family failures and these things, we start saying, oh, it's Krishna's fault. I've surrendered to Krishna, and this is what I get. We may have arranged this. So we always go back on our word, you see. This is our defect. So if Yamaraj said to you in a dream one night, hey, I've come to you, Alex. I've come to you. And do you remember in your last life you were such and such and you agreed to these conditions? Oh, yes. Your whole paradigm of life will instantly change. So that's what I think in my life. This is the way I look, because I've been through a very bad family situation. I lost my children when halfway through a difficult marriage. I've been poor. I've been suffering like a lot, but I've also thought about these things. I hope that helps everyone here. Okay, next one, Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu.
Great personality can understand that a living entity entangled in this material world cannot be freed by his own efforts. With firm faith and devotion, such great personalities engage themselves in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. This is the verdict of the personified Vedas.
Archana.
The personified Vedas continue. Dear Lord, it is very difficult to achieve perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. Your Lordship is so kind to the fallen soul that you appear in different incarnations and execute different activities. You appears even as a historical personality of material birth, and your pastimes are very nicely described in the Vedic literatures. Such pastimes are attractive as the ocean of transcendental bliss. People in general have natural inclination to read narration in which ordinary jivas are glorified. But when they become attached by the Vedic literature which delineate your eternal pastime, they actually dip into the ocean of transcendental bliss, like we are. As a fatigued man feels refreshed by dipping into a reservoir of water, so the conditioned soul who is very much disgusted with material activities become refreshed and forget all the fatigue of material activities simply by dipping into the transcendental ocean of your pastime. And eventually he merged into the ocean of transcendental bliss. The most intelligent devotees, therefore, do not take to any means of self-realization except devotional service and constant engagement in the 9 different processes of devotional life, especially and chanting. When the hearing and chanting about your transcendental pastime, your devotee do not care even for the transcendental bliss derived from liberation of or from merging into the existence of the Supreme. Such devotees are not interested even in so-called liberation, and they certainly have no interest in material activities for elevation to the heavenly planets for sin gratification.
Alex,
Pure, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Alex Prabhuji.
Sorry, I'm just going.
Pure devotees.
Pure devotees. Oh yes, pure devotees seek only the association of the Paramahansas, or great liberated devotees, so they can continuously hear and chant about your glories. For this purpose, the pure devotees are prepared to sacrifice all comforts of life, even giving up the material comforts of family life and so-called society, friendship, and love. Those who have tasted the nectar of devotion by relishing the transcendental vibration of chanting your glories, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, do not care for any other spiritual bliss or for material comforts which appear to the pure devotee as less important than the straw in the street. Hare Krishna.
very nice. And devotees, Machita, this is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text number 9. Who can find Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text number 9? Come on, Smita, go on. You can do it. Come on, beat the Archana. Jai Shri Krishna's onto it. Will Alex come up with it first? Smita's got it.
No, I haven't. I said the Prabhuji will get it most probably quicker than I will.
10:9.
10:9.
Go on then. Go on then, Archana.
The thought of my pure devotees.
Oh no, the Sanskrit, Machitas.
Machitan mad prana bodhayata parasparam kathayatascha mam nityam tusyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees grow in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
Yes, this is what we're doing, you see, is as much as possible. We're only doing this once a week for an hour. It's considered, very insignificant. We used to read Krishna book every night on the Bhakta program. My Bhakta program life consisted of japa. This is when I was a new Bhakta. Japa, Mangalati japa, shloka class at 6:45 in the morning by a senior devotee, shloka class every day. That meant in 3 months, I learned 90 shlokas every day, new shloka. Maybe I didn't remember them all, but I remembered a few of them. After shloka class, Guru Puja, greeting deity Arti, Srimad Bhagavatam class, second class. Breakfast, service. 11 o'clock, 11:30, Ishopanishad class, third class of the day. Ishopanishad class, 11:30 to 12:30. Then we would go down for lunch, 1 o'clock, half an hour, cleaning, tidying, this and that. 1 o'clock lunch. 2 o'clock, Harinam. We go downtown, London, Watford, Hemel Hempstead, Crawley, for goodness sake. Hackney, maybe. Chanting Hare Krishna. 2 o'clock, we'll be back then, 5 o'clock from Harinam. Take bath. Then downstairs, 5:30, Sri Upadeshamrita class. Number 4, Nectar of Instruction. then Prashadam, then Arti. 6 o'clock Upadeshamrita, then Prashadam, then Arti. After the Arti, 5th class, Bhagavad Gita class. After Bhagavad Gita, go upstairs, get ready for sleeping bag, everything ready for rest. 8:30, then 8:45, Krishna book reading. In one day, 6 classes. What do you think, Alex?
It's impressive.
Impressive, huh? That's 7 days a week. So in that time, in that 3-month period, when I came off that, I had assimilated a very, very big amount of information and knowledge of the basics of Krishna consciousness that I could build on for the rest of my life. Okay, how does that sound, Smita?
Now it sounds impossible.
Sorry?
It now sounds impossible. At one stage,
No.
it was possible. Now,
I'm talking about not for you now, Smita. I'm saying, what do you think of that system? That then.
well, that then should be still now, really.
Oh no, I'm sure the devotees coming in now get the similar. I don't think they get quite as intense. You see, when we joined, we didn't have a second where our mind wasn't engaged in Krishna service. Because as soon as the mind was out, Maya would be there, and then suddenly, hey, where did Bhakta Steve go? Well, hey, what happened to him? Oh, you know what happened? He was free for about an hour yesterday. His mind got him. His mind started telling him, hey, this is too hard, this is tough. What are you doing this for? Go and get a career, be successful in life. So this is how the program was, very, very tight schedule. And then when we leave the Bhakti program, we weren't having 6 lessons a day. We were having, say, 3 classes a day, but still it was good. Okay, so we finish here and we carry on with the personified Vedas continued next Tuesday. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very
Perfect.
much for joining.
Thank you.
I'm glad I
Thank
made
you.
it. Thank you, Smita, for coming. Well done. Well done for that.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it today, but I will try because
No,
this chapter I am stuck on myself. So
yeah, we're not far. We're halfway through. We're halfway through it. We must have done about 40 pages by now. No?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. We're doing well. Okay, so we will see you soon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very
Have a nice happy Janmashtami, everyone.
Yeah, same to you.
everyone.
Enjoy other days.
See you. If you're coming on Janmashtami, I'm on stage on the main tent, 10 to 7 to 7:30. And
Are you there on Saturday?
Thursday.
Okay, not on Saturday.
Saturday, they haven't invited me for that. I think it's mainly young people and it's a different group there for Saturday. So Thursday, they've invited me and I'm on the Hare Krishna tent, festival tent at 5 o'clock to 6. And then the main tent, 6:50 to 7:35. So if you're there, I'll see you there. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Bye.